Oh, hello. All right. Okay, just give me a moment. I'm just gonna make sure that everything is up and running and that we're all good. All right, all right, all right. Let's see. Okay, I think I am live. If you're watching, just say hello. I am just gonna double check if I am right there with you. So give me a moment. Um, I'm gonna see if I'm in there. Ooh, this is so cool. I can actually cross post and go live in the group as well. So you might be watching this in the Siren Goddess Collective. You might be watching this on my own page. So that's pretty cool. I might be doing more of this then in the future. Just hitting more birds with the one stone, as they say, although it's not very appropriate for me to say because I'm a vegan, so I don't want to hit any birds and harm any birds in the process. So let me just make sure everything is up and running. This is my first time just trying to get like things in order from my own my business page actually when still waters speak. So if you're watching for the first time, welcome so much. Welcome. All right, beautiful ones. Okay. All right. So I want to just say, please comment, please share. If there's anything you want to ask, you're very welcome to just pop in and say hello and pop off. It's all good. I really I am just so grateful to be sharing a space with you today and to talk to you a little bit about coming into the sacred and just really having a beautiful conversation about what it is that we're doing that could be cheapening the sacred. Okay, so welcome, beautiful ones. I am just gonna make sure that I am all good. All right. Okay, so one thing that came up for me today that was so beautiful was a memory of a time when I was growing up. Actually, I have had several experiences of this. And it is a beautiful sacred ritual that we would do as Taoists. And that is when someone in the family has passed, we will have a specific funeral, a rite of rituals for the funeral for them to take the passage across the river, as they call it, so that they can pass on and reincarnate in peace. And one of the things I remember doing is that we will have a couple of days of the wake and the funeral and everything. And every time it almost is like a full day thing, to be honest. So there will be a Taoist master who would be there to chant, to pray, to make sure that the soul crosses over in peace and in harmony. And as a family member, I remember that after all of that is done, during the funeral, we will have to wear a specific kind of clothing and we will have to bow and we have to be on our knees and we have to be there. And finally, you know, until the very last day, my family members who passed, like my grandmothers and my grandfathers, they chose to be cremated. So even, I had two a grandmother and grandfather on the other side, my father's side, who decided to be buried. But those who were cremated and buried, ultimately, before that happened, they would have this journey to the mountains where they will be buried or cremated. And all of the family members will follow behind the car where the body will be in. Uh, I guess you call it the hearse. And then after that, when they get there, that's when the first rites of rituals is complete. And after that moment, we will go home, and there will be a couple of months of wearing black or white, depending on which side of the family you're in. And then also there will be a day, a specific day that the Taoist master will actually pick and actually calculate and be able to tell us. It will be the day when the soul is completely crossed over and will be reincarnated. But before that happens, the soul will actually come back to say goodbye. And there will be moments I remember, like being really young. I remember there would be a night when these things take place. They would actually ask us to just stay in the room and not make any noise and turn off all the lights and give that space, that quietness for the soul to come through, the spirit to come through, to say goodbye. And it's so profound to think about this and actually to talk about this now. Even my voice has actually dropped a little decibel lower in quietude, because I remember, we were sitting in the dark. I was a little child and I had to, study and do my homework and prepare for the next day's school syllables. I remember we were sitting in the dark, and after a while, my mom would have to throw the keys or coins outside the door, just to open the door and throw it out there, just to make a little noise, so that the spirit know that we are now coming back out. And whatever it is, we wish them well and peace. And so that was a beautiful thing, and a little bit spooky for a little child. But I think I just had this moment that just this memory came up for me. And I wanted to say that so much of it was about, wow, the beauty of the ritual, the way spirit really imbued every part of the journey. Any soul in transition were taken through. And I'm so happy and so grateful that I grew up in with these experiences, and now I can see they serve a big part of my work. And it is part of me, it is me, so I just wanted to share that. And yes, there are many moments when um, the ancestors would come back in like a form of a moth. And in those moments, they would always drift in and come in a moment when I truly would never expect them to. But it really gives me great joy to be able to connect with them in this way. So, again, welcome to all of you who are just joining. I see some of you popping in. I don't really know who it is. I can only see the numbers and the little eye. And if you're on Instagram as well, please say hello. If you could introduce your real name, that's amazing. If not, all good. Um, I wanted to talk a lot more about how we are cheapening the sacred these days, because I do see this quite a lot. And I do want to share my perspective and my own experience, coming from a space where I was never really taught about what the sacred is. I know that I have been raised in a family where we have the rituals, we have the prayers and things like that as a Taoist Buddhist, but I don't remember being told why we even do it. And I think a huge part of it is the behind the scenes that creates something um, in the sacred form for us to hold close to our hearts. And when it's sacred, it is something that is deeply, profoundly heart opening, and it stays with you forever. It's etched into your memory. And so I want to speak specifically to mystics and healers. If you are here and you're finding your voice, you're trying to figure out, like, is this a journey I need to heal from first before I go out and serve? This is oftentimes a very common question I get. I want to just share with you my perspective on it, and you can take what resonates and just leave the rest. And also, my hope is that it can really pique some interest and curiosity in you, and really allow you to understand why. And this is my own opinion, and I really see this a lot in amongst my peers, why mentorship is truly essential and valuable. And you can even cast this back, and I'm going to do this with you. You can even cast this back to all the ancient sages and the most iconic icons in the world. They all had mentors. They all had mentors. They didn't come in and from day one started to go pro and just start serving in big spaces and all of that. And the reason why is that you will gain so much from the form. If you want to be creative, hi Gemma, if you truly want to be creative and you think that the most creative way you can be is through freestyle, I just want to tell you, this is something I used to think for a long time. Like, I used to believe that, creativity means to have a lot of room to do your own thing and all of that, until I actually crossed paths with tea and started to live the life of Cha Dao, which is the way of tea. This is something I would say, I would describe it almost like what my master used to say. It's like a ballet dancer, and when we watch her on the world stage, and the way she dances is so fluid and so perfect, and she has her own unique style. When we ask the ballet dancer how she became such a success, it's almost always that she says, I practiced for many, 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 many hours. And she probably even started from very, very basic and classical styles first. So you're probably seeing where I'm going with this, right? If we are a mystic or whatever, an esoterica, in mysticism, we are going to have to dive deep, even in alchemy. I truly am so nerd out. Like, I nerd out on all these things. Like, I would study all the old alchemical texts and the mysticism, and read books and books and books. And I started working with mentors because they started to come into my path. And when I met them, I just took that leap and said, I need to study with this person. So those built my foundation up, and it built very quickly because I was just relentless. I have a moon in Sagittarius, I have a big stellium in Sagittarius, so I'm a big truth seeker. I love knowledge, I love studying, and I do my research and things like that. So that is me, like doing the way of tea. Coming into the way of tea, let's just put it that way, I also I sought out my mentor, and then one after another tea masters presented themselves. I also had to say and bow and be humbled and said, please teach me what I need to know, because every one of them served a purpose. They gave me something that was completely what I wouldn't have gotten from another master, another mentor. So, in cultivating a practice, especially when we have this feeling, this purpose that we want to go out and serve, we want to heal the world, we want to be whatever it is, I just want to cast your mind into a space where the logical mind will only know and it will repeat what it knows, while the superconscious mind is pure creativity in motion. But to achieve the superconscious mind, you have to have a basic foundational understanding of what you're actually dealing with. Because in this dimension, you are absolutely in a space where you are coming into a density that is going to feel very heavy for a light being. And that is why we want to anchor in. We want to feel deeply connected with Mother Nature, with Earth, in harmony, and understand how we actually can flow with Tao. Yeah, that's what I would say. So when you're cultivating a practice, when you're to be mentored and to study the ancient forms, one can actually become so much more creative and allow the unique expression to shine through. That is because now you have the form. You understand, it's like, for example, a world-class pianist. He probably started with Beethoven tunes, right? He started with that. He understood why it had to be like this. Van Gogh started with the most basic foundational painting, the way of painting, and started to get his own unique fashion later on in his career, because now he spent many, many years actually studying Japanese art. These are some of the things we don't talk about enough. And we keep saying, like, it has become so extremely popular nowadays to be individualistic. Hi sister, hi Maria. It's become so popular these days to be individualistic, to slam teachers, to say, information is so readily available, it's on YouTube, it's on Google, blah blah blah. So what is happening now is that we, in the modern days, we have become so attached to what is who you are on social media instead of the behind the scenes cultivation. You know, it's easy for someone to just go on social media and for a couple of minutes and say that they're a master and say everything and regurgitate whatever information they got on Google. It's so easy to do that. But where is the integration? Where is the transformation? I always believe this. Information is the first point, and here I am. I'm telling you. So you're getting the information from me. But when it comes to integration, you've got to be self-led. You have to lead yourself through into that integration. And transformation, it's got to happen in a space where you are given permission to really move past that logical mind, the high functioning mind that knows what it knows and keeps keeping you small because it says, well, according to what you did in the past, this is not going to work. So that's why we need mentors, because mentors will awaken that superconscious in us first and foremost by demonstrating that it can be done. And then they give us the guidance, right? Yeah, Maria, thank you. I wanted so much to talk about this because it really came up for me big time for me, and I just wanted to pop on here today and talk about this. And I want to bring up something that I learned when I was with my tea master. I remember sitting with him one time for tea, and I remember this thing he spoke about. He said, these days in modern times, because of how information are so readily available, pilgrimages are no longer needed. People don't undertake pilgrimages anymore. In the ancient days, if you want to seek for mentorship, you have to climb the mountains, you have to walk through all the creeks and valleys to get to the temple where the master is. And then maybe you gotta stand there or kneel there for days without food or water and wait for the master to say, okay, I'm gonna take you on as an apprentice because I can see that you're sincere about it. These days, it's like people don't even know what a pilgrimage is. You know, this is the truth. And yes, I am sitting here sharing this, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but we have to understand that the whole point, the lesson has already started when the pilgrimage started for the person who took the pilgrimage. And by the time he's kneeling or she's kneeling in front of the temple waiting for acceptance from the mentor, that is already like a deep part of the lesson that she's already receiving. By the time the mentor says yes, she's already so ready that she can receive all the teachings and the transmissions just like that. That is when a beautiful and refined master is born because she's open to the transformation. This is the key to alchemy. If you're not open, if your mind is full of know it all, if your mind is full of, nah, I've got the information, I don't need them to tell me more about it, I can self study, what's the point? The mentor can tell, and the mentor would just say, thank you very much, you don't need me. You really don't, and you'll be turned away. Some people seek for mentors just for ego's sake. It's the truth. And so the mentor will be able to judge from that pilgrimage you made. So when he spoke about this, my heart really sang so loudly. I understood what he was telling me because, yeah, the journey is the whole lesson. The whole lesson is in the journey. It's not the destination. But a lot of us in the modern times think that is the destination and the mentor is meant to take us there. The mentor is guiding us there, but the mentor is not going to drive you there. You understand? So we got to understand what it means to have a mentor. And when that pilgrimage The real life pilgrimage of like 100 days journey to India cannot be undertaken these days because we are living in the modern times and we're in the golden age. We got to accept that. We're coming into a new paradigm. And so we have to understand if this pilgrimage is no longer needed in this beautiful divine age of Aquarius, what then can we open our hearts to that will make us sanctify this intention to be mentored, this intention to cultivate a higher state of being? The answer at the time the tea master actually shared, and I want to share with you, is that this is why pilgrimages in the modern day can come in the form of an energy exchange that feels a little bit out of your comfort zone. That's when you know that it is a pilgrimage. This is what it means in the modern times. And I'm sharing this with you because I truly believe this. I've seen many transformations in the clients who come in to work with me. The price I charge, it was highly uncomfortable for them. None of them had money sitting around and saying, yeah, I'm just going to dump it on my healing journey. This is the truth. But they did it because they wanted it. They wanted it for themselves. And when that happened, they took a pilgrimage that felt really out of their comfort zone when they gave me the money that I asked for. That's their pilgrimage. And they broke out of that comfort zone and they walked into a new paradigm through that. Because now they see they are able to do something they thought was impossible. And that is to really set themselves free. This is my solemn belief, every pound, dollar that I'm being paid sets that woman free. This is my work. That is the pilgrimage. I don't force anyone. If they don't want to take it, they don't have to take it. That is the truth as a mentor. And as mentors, we have to have the responsibility to keep cultivating a vessel ourselves that is as pure and in harmony with nature and the cosmos as much as we can. It's not to say that we won't make mistakes. It's not to say that we don't know. We can't say I don't know. We can. We should, in fact, when we don't know. Because it's time we really finish. It's time we're done with being perfect. Perfectionism is such a devil thing. It's like a devilish thing where it's just like I that's the only word that's coming up for me right now. It's like the one thing that's standing behind you and telling you that you're not enough, telling you that you have to be better. That's very different from cultivation that comes from the heart, comes from purity, knowing that you want to be better and better every single day because you're serving from the heart, right? So there are many practices out there that really harnesses and hones and sharpens the mind and fires up the heart's pure passion and purpose that goes on behind the scenes that we don't know. When you look at a master, when you look at a teacher, you want to know, what do they do in their spare time? What do they do in their lives? It's something I always say, you don't have to ask them these questions outright. My clients don't ask me like, what do you do on your spare time? But it is embodied. They know when they see me, when they talk to me, they just feel it. We don't need to have a lot of transmissions. We don't spend hours and hours chatting to each other. That's not necessary, because the valuable lesson is immediate. It's immediate because now the master, because of how she cultivates within herself for hours and hours, she can immediately give her student, her client, the answer, or the self-assessment, the curiosity, the reflection, right? That's the whole point. We're not meant to be fixing anyone as a mentor. Really, really. It's about really inspiring, showing up, sharing what's possible, shining a light on their potential that they can't see themselves. And of course, teaching them, guiding them through things that will start to create a form of practice so that they can go out and become more creative in their own unique expression, not to be a cookie cutter of you as the mentor. That's that's the huge thing I want to talk about. They are all meant to express themselves uniquely. But first, to express yourself uniquely, you have to understand the foundational basic. And that's where you come in as a mentor. Okay? So I want to share before I finish that I took a pilgrimage myself, quote unquote, at the very beginning of my Chadao journey. And at the time, it was a huge investment for me. It was the first time I ever put any money on myself. And it was the most valuable and amazing thing ever that I felt because I was truly transformed the minute I put that money down. And I hear this over and over again from my clients. It's the same thing. It's like every time I put my money down, it's like I'm completely transformed. When I say yes to you, I already feel the transformation because now you're opening your heart up to possibilities. And the minute you do that, and for me, I always tell myself this every time I pay my mentor, every time I give this money to my mentor, I'm so grateful. I would never forget the moment I found her or him, because I don't ever want to get into a space where I start to, just imagine this. I had a vision board of like, I want to work with someone amazing, right? And I found that tea master. And then when it comes to paying them, I start to feel resentful. That's not a student that is pure of heart. Why do you feel resentful of giving in exchange for something that's energetically the master's, right? We really have to reassess our attitudes sometimes when it comes to these things. And I really want to tell you that, whether it's 30 pounds to 30,000 pounds, right, whatever the number, there is an energy exchange that comes in, and it's for you at that time. It's meant for you, whatever that number is at that time. Hi, Elizabeth. That is really what it's all about. It's like, will you accept this invitation to expand or not? You will be tested. But when you are in devotion and in service, Spirit will always guide you through. Always. The work is really in staying the course, staying the course, staying the course, staying the course in becoming, constancy, consistency, always, at all times, returning to love, coming back to love. I was asked, you know, um, can you serve in ceremony when you don't have any training, any formal training? And for me, my answer is I'm not the person to give you the permission to do this, first and foremost. And secondly, yes, Elizabeth, yes, you did and you do accept the invitation. Yeah. Um, just to speak about ceremony, again, it comes back to form. You want to build that foundational form so that you can go out there and become that unique ceremonial keeper, that unique version of you. But first and foremost, please give the ceremony some respect, in the sense that you know that you want to get to learn this. You don't have to be perfect. I certainly didn't start being perfect. I wasn't like, yeah, you're ready to fly now. No. In the sense of a tea ceremony, it's about coming from the heart. If you're serving from the heart, if you're in devotion to this practice and you're already cultivating that yourself in your own time, go forward, go do it. You know, don't, but it's like when we cheapen the sacred with empty mimicry, as I call it, like a parrot parroting back whatever I said to you. It's like, where is the spirit? Where is it? The whole point of a ceremony is that we want to infuse that with spirit, with presence. And how we do that is through the movements, through the sacred water, the juice, the sacred juice of it, which is tea in this sense. And you want to understand why these things are done. Every single thing has a meaning. Every utensil has a meaning. Everything in a ceremony has a meaning. This is what makes it sacred. It's not something that you just say, okay, I saw a picture of it and I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to put it in the same way and it will be fine. There's so much more to that. So much more. And it wasn't like something that someone just came up with yesterday. It's carried on from many ancient years. So let us all, please, in these holy days, just give some respect and reverence back to the meaning behind these amazing things, whether it's cosmology, ceremony, quietude, presence, special days that we celebrate. Please, I invite you to just come back to love, to come back to devotion. Bye, love. And really remember, yes, anyone can one day become a ceremonial keeper, a basketball pro, a ballet dancer, a pianist, a painter. Yes. But let us all hold the ancient scriptures and the ancient studies and all the mentors with some reverence and respect, because if I'm not the one for you, all good, go find someone else. But please, if you have zero knowledge of something and you try to move in a way where you think that I'm creative and therefore I need to be alone and I need to do this on my own because my style is the best, I would ask you to reassess. And I say this with lots of love. I have no judgment against you. And I just want this to be heard, because I definitely was one of those people who thought to be creative, I don't need to hear anything else. I don't need to be anything else. I just, I have my own style. How naive I was, how ignorant. Because when I finally got initiated into my journey with Cha Dao, I started from the very basic of filling up water in a kettle, how to hold the bowls with two hands, how to make sure I don't break teaware, how to move. And then starting to listen to spirit first before even getting into understanding what tea is good and how to taste good tea. This is how you infuse your life with spirit every day. We don't start with the logical. We go backwards. We go back to the essence. And so, my loves, thank you for watching. Thank you for resonating. And, whatever that doesn't resonate, I beat you well. Thank you so much for listening anyway. For all of you who are really truly inspired and you're truly lit up by this conversation, I invite you to join my beautiful Priestess of Tea. It's a beautiful 8-week collective pilgrimage. It's a group program. And since yesterday's masterclass, I have released a secret priestess code that you can claim so that you can take off 1,122 pounds off the original price up till Friday only. I want to give this to you. So if you are already in my group in Siren Goddess Collective, you can check out the masterclass now. Otherwise, you can just DM me and ask for the code if you want to, or ask for the masterclass link. All good. And that is your pilgrimage to find me. That is your pilgrimage. And everything you learn will be everything about tea that I know. And I want you to really have it. I want you to understand that one day you can be serving in ceremony as well, or not. However you want to take the knowledge, however you want to take the experience, You go do you, but please give the sacred some respect, and I'm here to offer it. Okay? So big love. Thank you all for listening. Sending you all so much love. And I will see you soon. Bye.